the forgotten lands beyond human maps, there existed a hidden werewolf realm known as Lily World. For centuries, it was protected by moonlight and blood-bound pacts. Until the day the sky turned red, and the dragon of Ash awoke. The dragon was ancient, older than the pacts, older than the laws of the moon. Where it flew, villages burned. Where it roared, bloodlines ended. The prophecy was clear, greater than, only a blood sacrifice from the moon-born family can stop the dragon's hunger. And so the elders came to one house. Lily was the youngest daughter of a respected werewolf family. Gentle, quiet, loved by everyone, she had no idea she carried moon blood, a rare lineage powerful enough to bind dragons. Her parents knew. They argued through the night. They cried. They prayed. But when the dragon's fire reached the borders of Lily World, fear won. At dawn, her mother braided her hair with shaking hands. Her father avoided her eyes. When Lily smiled and asked, "Why is everyone crying?" no one answered. That was the moment her fate was sealed. They took her to the Stone of Offering, deep in the Cursed Valley. Lily finally understood when she saw the chains carved with ancient runes. Her voice broke. Greater than, "Mama, Papa, what is this?" Her mother collapsed to her knees. Her father turned away, fists clenched. "Greater than, forgive us," he whispered. "This is the only way to save the family." The dragon's shadow darkened the sky. Lily screamed, not in anger, but in disbelief. "Greater than, you're my family, I would have chosen to die for you." But they had already chosen for her. The chains locked, and the dragon descended. From the forest came a roar that shook the earth. Kale, alpha of the Night Fang pack. He had searched for Lily for days, the pull of the mate bond driving him mad. When he saw her chained before the dragon, his wolf howled in agony. "Greater than, stop," he thundered. "She is mine," but it was too late. The dragon breathed fire. The flames never touched Lily. Instead, the moon exploded with silver light. The chains shattered. Lily rose, not broken, not afraid. Her eyes glowed like liquid moonlight. Her body burned with ancient power. The truth was revealed. She was not a sacrifice. She was the moon's chosen. The first Luna werewolf, born to command both beast and flame. Her voice echoed across the valley. "Greater than, I was offered in fear. Now I rise in judgment." The dragon roared, but for the first time, it roared in pain. Lily lifted her hand. Moonlight wrapped around the beast like chains of destiny. Kale stood beside her, bloodied but unbowed. "Greater than, you are not alone," he said softly. "Never again." With one final cry, Lily unleashed her power. The dragon turned to ash. The curse was broken. The family ran to her, sobbing, begging forgiveness. But Lily stepped back. Her voice was calm and distant. "Greater than, you saved yourselves. But you lost your daughter the day you chose fear over love." She turned away. Kale took her hand. Together, they walked into the moonlight. Not as victim and rescuer, but as queen of the moon and her alpha. Greater than, they sacrificed her to save their family. But in doing so, they created a legend the world would never forget. The night the dragon fell, Lily World did not celebrate. There were no victory howls, no songs of triumph, only silence. The ashes of the dragon drifted through the air like black snow, settling on the lilies that once glowed with innocence. The land was saved, but something sacred had been broken. Lily was gone, not dead, but no longer theirs. At the edge of the moon cliffs, Lily stood with Kale, looking down at the world that had betrayed her. The wind played with her hair, silver light tracing her skin. She was stronger now, far stronger than the girl they had chained. Yet her heart felt heavier than ever. Kale watched her quietly. As Alpha, he had faced wars and death, but nothing hurt him more than the emptiness in her eyes. "You don't have to go back," he said gently. "This world will kneel if you command it." Lily shook her head. "I don't want kneeling," she whispered. "I wanted family." Her voice cracked, and the moon wept with her. Back in the family home, her parents lived like ghosts. The house was still standing, but it felt colder than the grave. Her mother sat by the hearth, clutching Lily's old cloak, rocking back and forth as if she could undo time. I heard her scream, she sobbed. Every night, I still hear it. Her father no longer spoke much. The once proud warrior now avoided mirrors. His hands that had bound his own daughter, trembled constantly. They had saved the family, but lost their souls. The elders gathered beneath the great moon tree. The packs were restless. Whispers turned to growls. A sacrifice without consent is forbidden, one alpha snarled. They broke the moon law. Another growled back. They offered the Luna born to a dragon. The verdict was clear. Judgment was coming. On the seventh night, the sky darkened unnaturally. Silver fire streaked across the heavens. Lily descended, not walking, not running. She descended like destiny itself. Every werewolf dropped to one knee, except Kale, who stood beside her, unashamed, unafraid. Her voice was calm, controlled, terrifying. Bring them to me. Her parents were dragged forward, shaking, unable to meet her eyes. Her mother collapsed immediately. My child, please, we were afraid. Lily did not move. Fear no longer ruled her. Do you know why the moon chose me? Lily asked. No one answered. Not because of my blood, she continued, but because I can choose justice without becoming evil. She stepped closer. To kill you would be mercy. And mercy is not what you deserve. The crowd gasped. Her sentence was final. Her parents were stripped of rank, banished from all packs, forbidden from ever calling upon the moon, condemned to live among humans, powerless, aging, and forgotten. Tears streamed down her mother's face. Please, let me stay near you. Lily's voice was steady. You chose a world without me. Now you will live in it. That night, Lily finally broke. Not before the packs, not before the moon, but in Kale's arms. She cried like the girl she once was. The daughter who trusted, the child who believed love was unconditional. Kale held her tightly. They failed you, he said. But I won't. For the first time since the sacrifice, Lily slept. Not as a queen, but as a woman who was finally safe. Under Lily's rule, Lily world changed. No child would ever be offered again. No prophecy would override choice. No fear would rule the packs. The lilies bloomed brighter than ever. Not from sacrifice, but from truth. And at night, when the moon rose full, two figures could be seen at the cliffs. The Moon Queen, and her Alpha, bound not by fate alone, but by chosen love, greater than, they offered her to death. But from her pain, a kingdom was reborn. Perfect. Below is part 3, written as a very expanded, emotional, cinematic continuation that deepens the werewolf romance, introduces legacy, and sets up an unforgettable future for your channel.
Years passed in Lily World, but time itself seemed to move differently under Lily's reign. The land healed, rivers once poisoned by dragon fire ran clear again. The lilies grew taller, their petals glowing brighter than silver. The packs no longer lived in fear, but in reverence. Yet the Moon Queen carried a quiet secret. A life was growing within her. The elders felt it before she spoke of it. The moon pulsed strangely in the sky. Wolves howled in harmony across distant valleys. The night carried a new rhythm, soft, powerful, ancient. An old prophecy, long sealed and feared, resurfaced. Greater than, when the Moon Queen bears a child, the balance of all realms shall tremble. For this child shall not choose between light and dark. Both shall answer to them. Fear returned to the elders' eyes. But Lily was no longer afraid of prophecy. Kale stood watch every night outside the moon chamber. The Alpha who once feared losing her now feared for something greater. Their child, he placed his palm over Lily's belly one night, feeling the faint pulse beneath. I will protect you, he whispered. Both of you, even if the world turns against us. Lily smiled sadly. The world always turns against what it cannot control. The birth came during a triple moon night, a phenomenon unseen for thousands of years. 3 moons filled the sky. Silver, crimson, shadow. The ground trembled. The lilies bent as if bowing. Lily screamed, not in weakness, but in transformation. Power flowed through her, lighting the sky like a storm of stars. And then, a cry echoed, not fragile, not helpless, powerful. The child was born with eyes that glowed like dawn and dusk combined. The moment the baby breathed, every werewolf in Lily World dropped to their knees. The moon itself dimmed. The elders approached cautiously. "This child," one whispered, trembling, "is neither Alpha nor Luna." Lily held her child close. "No," she said firmly. "They are both." The child bore the mark of the moon on their chest. A symbol never seen before. A mark that meant rule without tyranny. Far beyond Lily World, in the forgotten abyss where ancient evils slept, something stirred. The death of the dragon had not ended evil. It had summoned it. Creatures older than dragons felt the child's birth. Shadows shifted. Old enemies whispered a name they had feared since creation. Greater than, the air of balance has risen. And they would come.
For the first time since her awakening, Lily felt fear again. Not for herself, for her child. She stood beneath the moon, tears in her eyes. "I was sacrificed once," she whispered. "I will not let my child become another offering." Kale wrapped his arms around her. "Then we fight," he said. "All of us." The child grew quickly, strong, wise beyond years, connected to the land itself. Flowers bloomed where they crawled. Wolves calmed at their laughter. Darkness recoiled from their presence. But the child asked one question often. "Why do people fear me, Mother?" Lily knelt, holding their face gently. "Because they do not yet understand you," she said. "And that is the hardest burden of all." For a time, Lily World believed peace had finally won. The child of the Moon Queen grew under silver skies, protected by ancient wards and the strength of united packs. Laughter returned to the valleys. Songs were sung again, but evil does not forget. It waits. Beyond the edges of the known world, beneath mountains where sunlight had never touched, the Council of Ash gathered. They were not wolves, not dragons. They were beings older than both. Formed from shadow, betrayal, and forgotten magic. The death of the dragon had broken a seal, and the birth of the moon heir had awakened their hunger. Greater than, "Kill the child," one hissed, "or bend it to our will." They chose the hunt. Evil rarely enters through force. It enters through fear. A respected elder of Lily World, Elder Morven, began to whisper doubts among the packs. "The child is too powerful. The Moon Queen hides truths from us. What if the heir destroys us all?" Fear spread quietly, and fear opens doors. One night, Morven stepped beyond the warded forest and spoke forbidden words into the darkness. The shadows answered. The attack came without warning. The sky blackened unnaturally. The lilies wilted. Wolves howled in terror as shadow beasts poured from the forest. Kale roared orders, leading warriors into battle. Lily ran, not away, toward her child. She felt it instantly. The wards were breaking. In the chaos, a scream pierced the night. Not Lily's, the child's. Lily reached the chamber just in time to see shadow chains wrapping around the moon heir, lifting them into the air. "No," she screamed, unleashing moonfire that split the ground. But the shadows were prepared. A voice echoed, "Greater than, you were sacrificed once. Now it is your turn to choose again." The child was taken. The night swallowed them whole. Lily collapsed to her knees. The world trembled with her grief. The moon dimmed. Kale found her moments later, bloodied but alive. "They took our child," she whispered, broken. Kale knelt before her, placing his forehead against hers. "Then we bring the world down," he said. At dawn, Lily stood before every pack. No softness remained, no mercy. Her voice thundered across the land. "Greater than, this is no longer a time of peace. This is a war for our future." The packs held in unity. Even those who once doubted her now trembled. Because they felt it. The Moon Queen was no longer holding back. Far away, in a realm of darkness, the moon heir stood unafraid. The shadows whispered lies. "You were never wanted. They fear you. Join us." The child lifted their chin, eyes glowing steadily. "My mother was sacrificed," they said calmly. "She survived." The shadows recoiled. The hunt had begun. Lily World had never seen its queen like this. The lilies no longer glowed softly. They burned silver, as if fed by rage and resolve. The rivers ran louder. The wind carried a warning. Lily stood at the center of the moon circle, eyes blazing, power spilling from her like a storm barely contained. She was no longer only a mother in pain. She was at war. Kale raised his head to the sky and howled, A sound so powerful it traveled across mountains and oceans. Across realms, Lily froze mid-battle. Her breath caught. "She's fighting," she whispered. Kale looked at her. "She's like you." Pride and fear collided in Lily's heart. The Moon Queen arrived at the gates of the Shadow Realm. Silver and darkness collided as she raised her hand. "Release my child." The sky shattered. For the first time, the shadows retreated. The gates of the Shadow Realm did not open. They broke. Moonfire tore through ancient darkness as Lily stepped forward, her feet touching a land no queen had ever ruled. The sky above her was fractured, half silver, half void, screaming under the weight of her presence. Kale stood beside her, bloodied but unbowed. "Stay behind me," he said. Lily looked at him, eyes glowing with a sorrow deeper than power. "No," she replied softly. "This ends with me." The Council of Ash gathered their remaining strength. Shadows rose like mountains. Voices overlapped, ancient and venomous. "You were once a sacrifice," they hissed. "You should understand your place." Lily raised her head. "I learned my place the night you took my child," she said. "And it is above you." The ground split. Moonlight flooded the realm. Then she felt it. A pulse. Familiar. Warm. Aching. "Mother." The voice was calm, but carried power that bent the shadows around it. The moon heir stepped forward, unharmed, eyes glowing with both light and dark. For a moment, Lily forgot the war, the prophecy, the blood. She ran. They collided in an embrace that shook both realms. "I was not afraid," the child whispered. "I felt you." Lily's hands trembled as she held them. "I'm here," she breathed. "I will always find you." Even the shadows paused. But destiny is never kind. An elder voice echoed, not from the shadows, but from the moon itself. Greater than, balance demands payment. The dark moon had been awakened, and it wanted its due. Lily understood instantly. To seal the Shadow Realm forever. To end the hunt, one of them must remain bound to it. Kale felt it too. "No," he growled, "not you." Lily turned to him, tears finally falling. "I was taken once without choice," she said. "This time, I choose." Before Lily could move, Kale stepped forward. "I was born to protect," he said. "Let it be me." Lily screamed his name. The moon heir cried out. But Kale only smiled, soft, peaceful. "Love was never meant to be safe," he said to Lily. "It was meant to be true." He turned to the child, kneeling. "Live," he said simply. "Rule better than we did." Then he stepped into the dark moon's grasp. The Shadow Realm collapsed inward. The Council of Ash screamed as darkness folded into itself. Moonlight surged. The gates sealed. Kale was gone. The silence afterward was unbearable. Lily fell to her knees, clutching the ground. The moon dimmed, not in defeat, but in mourning. The child knelt beside her, holding her hand. "You told me once," the child said quietly, "that love is choosing even when it hurts." Lily looked at them, eyes wet but steady. "Yes," she whispered, "and now, you must choose to live." She stood. The Moon Queen remained. When they returned, the packs howled, not in victory, but in grief. A monument was raised at the moon cliffs. Not of stone, of light. Kale's name was written into the sky itself, appearing every full moon. The Alpha who chose love over life.